So this is a new project. We're gonna do a revival on this. Might have seen like a Will It Run video in the middle of the winter or whatever. This is my old truck. Got into an accident with it. Those overload shocks that probably a lot of people have seen, they have a spring on top of them. Do not ever run those things, because a shock isn't meant to have that much like tension on it. And what happened is the eyelet broke off the top of the shock, and the shock was mounted in front of the axle, and when it broke off the frame, it landed on the ground and lifted the back of the truck up and steered it right into a telephone pole. So now I'll show you the damages, what happened. Besides the obvious bodywork, windshield, both windows, we broke the shock off of, or shock, the leaf spring mount off of the frame. And we broke the shock, that's the shock, off of the frame. Bumper mount destroyed, hood, grill surround pretty much destroyed. That grill is in pretty bad shape. The hood is very messed up on one side. This side has a slight dent in it. It got back into the motor a little, bent the oil fill, messed up the radiator and fan, and broke the front shot or spring mount off of the frame. These are not very safe for a link. It's just this one bolt holding it in. These things can just slide off the pins. It's just a pin in there. That's all it is. And fender, and it got back into the cab a little bit, and it bent the cab back about that far, because the door almost goes to the fill cap, and it bent the back of the cab all up too. So it's quite a little bit of work ahead of me. We will do it a little at a time, like I do everything else, because I don't even have a fender or parts yet. So we're just going to take the wheel off and see what we can do about that leaf spring. Cap's very dented too. Where all that red? How that got dented up so bad? I guess because the wheel went all the way back there. That wheel's garbage. Kind of wondering if it's going to come off. It is. The wheel is very bent. But it does turn. It should stop because it's going to turn. There's a really bent section. I figured it'd catch on something eventually. You know what? I was just trying to move this truck from one property to the next. How about you guys put down in the comments, do you think I should try to fix this like solid axles, keep it stock, or have a El Camino front clip out of like a 70s, 78 or whatever, 74 El Camino, pretty much all new, A-arms, bush hangs, pretty much all new. And it would match it up to the 5-lug rear end, because it's has one of those rear ends someone put in there before. So it's 6 lug in the front, 5 in the back already. But you know me, if I do something like that, then we're going to go all out and change the straight 6 out of it, and tranny, and put something different. And it gets around and goes all right now, or it was. But I think I should start that rebuilding process first. And if I could just knock those rivets out and put some bolts in there. Must have got loosened up enough with that last load. What a pain in the neck. Last 2 lug nuts. Hold on. Okay, we got some more tools out. And we put some blaster rust shit and the good old WD-40. We got my handy little tool bucket here. It always needs some body work every time you need to work on it. Hey, check out that channel. That's Peyton's Speed Shop. We got our handy, trusty breaker bar first. Broke them loose. If anybody was wondering, I do have jack stands, solid hole in the truck. I got this wheel. Jack stands are over there. That leaf spring is completely like come apart, so it doesn't even want to hold the weight of the axle off the tire off the ground. So back two are very tight. Probably because they're bent. Come on. You stupid bitch. Some of you might be saying, why don't you take the fender off and get it out of your way? And I'm thinking about the same thing, but later on you'll see why I'm fighting around the fender. I wish I had a long handled ratchet, but I don't. I have a little short handled ratchet. Pretty much down to that little bucket of tools now. I don't got nothing like I used to. We're all getting lost. So we did a little more work off camera, sorry, but trying to get the leaf spring pack out. This main leaf on this side and the other side are pretty bent. I was thinking I could knock the rivets out and replace it with bolts. The centering pins broke out of them. All the leaf springs are all over the place. They're riveted. The straps are broke off.